When you start in the hobby of collecting watches, you will generally see the typical watches on social media and advertisement. Of course, there's the Rolex, the Audemars Piguet, but I think those are the watches that everyone buys. But which watch would you end up buying when you really know about watches? And I think, at least personally, it goes something like this. This is a Jaeger-LeCoultre and it's one of their most famous models. It's called the Reverso, and it has the unique characteristic that it can flip over. And this is because the watch was invented in 1931 for polo players. They needed to keep track of time while playing, but also needed to protect their watch from impact. Now, that was almost 100 years ago, and the watch has obviously evolved. Jaeger-LeCoultre is a well-known brand, but not as popular as many others. However, for those who know, it's a brand that offers a lot of value simply because they have helped other larger and more popular brands reach where they are today. And I'm talking about brands like Audemars Piguet, Vacheron Constantin, Cartier, among many others. Now, why do I think this specific watch is what you buy when you truly know about watches? Basically, because it's not an ordinary Reverso. The classic Reverso has one dial that only tells time, has a blank back where you can engrave something, while there's another version with two dials. But the one that I have here is extremely special and different. It's known as the Reverso Grande Taille Moonphase Day-Night Power Reserve. It's an incredibly complicated watch in a very small pack. To start off, let's begin with the obvious, which is it's a rose gold case. But let's focus on the dial because we have a lot of information. At the top, we have the power reserve indicator, which literally works like a gas, showing how much winding the watch has left. On the right side, we have a day-night indicator that, as its name says, tells us whether it's day or night, essentially working as a 24-hour indicator. At the bottom, there's lunar phase indicator that shows us what the moon will look like at night. Now, if we start to play with the watch and flip it over, we will notice that it doesn't have a second phase nor a cover. Instead, it has what most collectors dream of, which is a window to enjoy the mechanism of this watch. It helps fulfill the dream that many of us have had to wear our watch upside down, because sometimes the most impressive part of a watch isn't its dial, its case, or its brand. Sometimes what's most remarkable is its mechanism, decorations, its finishing, and its complications. Even being able to fit something so complicated into such a small case is quite impressive. But why would someone who knows buy this particular watch? For me, it's quite simple. As you learn more and more about this hobby and gain more experience and have more pieces in your hand, you start to realize that the brand is not the most important thing. Having a recognizable watch is not what matters the most. In fact, for me, it has turned the other way around. The less recognizable the watch on my wrist, the better. But as you progress and get to know more, at least in my case, you realize that what really matters is what's inside the watch. The finishing, the manufacturing, the history of the brand, and the history behind the watch, which in this case has a very peculiar story. But all that complication of the mechanism that you can flip over, which Jaeger-LeCoultre called the cradle, which basically no other watch has, and all of that bling because the watch is gold, all of those complications it has clearly reflects a lot about a house like Jaeger-LeCoultre. These kinds of pieces are what make this brand basically my favorite in the whole world, because they offer incredible value and complication. And they are watches that, in my point of view, fly under the radar. But tell me, if you had a little more than $20,000, which what would you buy? Because of course, I would buy this one.